From business trends to mom, life's delight. She means business, a powerful sight. Sylvia and Jay, a dynamic duo, sharing wisdom, a powerful view. Elevating women, breaking the mold. The stories inspiring, brave and bold. So tune in weekly for the latest scoop. She means business, beyond the scope. A podcast powerhouse, a force to see. Empowering women, wild and free.
Hey there, welcome to the She Means Business podcast, episode 2, where we take charge, mold decisions, and transform ambitions. We are mom, business owners, and good human beings. So we're so excited to have you back. I think we'll turn up a little bit this time, right? We were a little nervous first episode. We're not going to pretend, just had to get ourselves, get what they say, get your feet wet and all that good stuff. But we're back, ready to talk, ready to dive in and really, get some of your feedback.
Yes.
So, Sylvia, what did you do this week?
Really, just submit some government contracts.
Always. Every time I talk to her, she's submitting government contracts or working on some new grant or doing something, doing an event.
Tapping into the resources.
And really, everything that she does is amazing. I'm not going to stress that because we as business owners always need resources. So this is your resource queen. I'm Jay Renee. So as you know, I have the creative studio out in Fayetteville, North Carolina, where we work on all types of things for businesses, your photography, custom printing, content, marketing, anything that you can think of. We're like a one-stop shop. So you'll love it here if you stop by. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what's your business, Sylvia?
So I own Personalment Solutions, and we do a little bit of everything as well. So we started off in the credit repair industry back in 2017, but now we have transformed our services to offer business credit, business resources, and then we also do like a little bit of website design and stuff on the side. Yeah. So doing a little something.
So this is your plug. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So today we're going to talk about a few topics. We're going to dig deep. So, let you know a little bit more about us, where we come from, our background, how we got here. So me, I am an Army brat, is what you say. I went to 13 different schools growing up. So there was a transitional period almost every single year of my life. I think that I became stagnant staying in the same place when I got to high school. So before then, that tells you how many schools I went to. I only went to one high school, so that tells you how many schools. I lived anywhere from Georgia to Delaware, Virginia, and now I'm here in North Carolina. So I've traveled and met a lot of people. And being an Army brat, I got to experience, learning how to meet new people. Mm-hmm. But one thing about being an Army brat is you don't have I don't have a lot of childhood friends. So I don't have people that I made friends with and stayed friends with. That's just a part of the thing. So once you get to know someone and you really, really like them, you're moving, right? Yeah. That's how it was. And you were in the Army. Were you an Army brat too, or just in the Army?
So my parents were in the Army before I was born.
Okay.
Yeah. So by the time I was born, they had already gotten out, and I joined the military in 2011.
Oh, how old were you?
I was 20. I was in the club Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I was there. Okay. Mm-hmm. So before I left for the military, I think I believe I turned 21 while I was in the field for basic training.
Yeah. When I was young, I went through the whole process. I wanted to go into the military. I actually think it was the National Guard that I was interested in.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. It was the National Guard. My dad was like, girl.
And why?
I don't know. Maybe the recruiter probably was just the most appealing as I think about it.
Yeah.
But I think my dad was like, you should go into the Air Force. Like, you should not, what are you doing, this National Guard, whatever. But I decided not to go at all. I did really good on my ASVAB too, because I could have been, Yeah, but my dad was like, the type of personality that you have, like, you are so, what's the word called? Like, I don't do things, Help me, Sylvia. Help me.
Inquisitive. I don't know. That's the word I wanted to say.
Easy going, like free spirit.
Okay.
That was the word. Free
Okay.
spirit. Sorry, that just left me. Such a free spirit. You're not gonna be able to take that. You're not gonna be able to handle. You know, you're not gonna like it. And sometimes I wish I would have.
Yeah.
You know, and getting them veteran benefits and all of that, and just the experience of it. And I think that with my leadership skills, I probably could have, you know, been high ranking, but.
Yeah, I had a different experience. So to talk about things that kind of ruined us during our childhood, one of those things was me being super spoiled. Like I had like 3 or 4 cars by the time I was 16.
Wow.
Yeah. But it wasn't like they was brand new, but it was still like I was able to ride and stuff. And so it got to a point where even I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17 and had my own apartment, still in high school. And all my friends used to come. We used to make steak and potatoes and like just be over there. Like, why do you got a house and you 17 years old? But I was 17, pretty much living in my own house, but my parents were still paying my bills. So it wasn't like, oh,
so
girl,
on your own.
I wasn't on my own. Yeah, they were still paying my bills and stuff. So I was like, yeah, this is weird. And so I ended up making a decision to like move back home. And in the midst of that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna join the military. I felt like I had to join the Army in order to get some level of discipline because I've never been consistent at anything prior to starting a business.
I feel that.
And being married. I've been married for 12 years. Like I did something. Yeah,
I
girl.
didn't know it had been 12 years.
12 years, girl.
I feel that. I absolutely feel that. So I moved out early too. So I moved out actually the day of my prom, right? So I was signing my lease in my prom dress. And after the prom, I was like, after party at my house.
Right.
At my apartment, no furniture, straight up. I remember the first meal I made was spaghetti. Right, and I used like the little, like the spaghetti, like the pasta that you put in, like pasta salad, you know. And I had the different colors and stuff, and I'm like all excited. Look at the pasta I made, whatever. Just didn't have a clue. Didn't know anything about nothing. No credit.
And my
nothing.
rent was $400 and something.
Mine was $550.
Girl,
And you know what I used to do? wait, what? $540. I remember, because what I used to do is I had like a mason jar that I kept in my medicine cabinet in the bathroom. That's when medicine cabinets were a thing. Now, you know, everybody too good for medicine cabinets. Yeah. But anyway, you open up, and then I would put $135 in there every time I got paid. So by the end of the week or the end of the month, I had $540 in there. That's how I lived, and it was so simple.
I didn't. I spent everything. No. I spent all my money. It was like, Mama, my phone off.
Oh my God!
I remember this one time. I woke up and I was at my apartment, and I woke up and my phone was off, and I couldn't call my parents to say, "Hey, my phone is off." So I had to walk around the corner to their house to tell them my phone was off.
Being around the corner.
Yes. But it was a part of it. The reason why I moved out is because my older brothers, they would always like go in my room and like take my stuff, and I was just so tired of it. Like I remember my senior year, they went under my bed and took my money. You know, like you have to sell the candy bars. Yeah, so I was over it.
You were done. That's crazy. I moved out just because I was too fast. Like that's pretty much what it was. I just like my dad said, I've always been a free spirit, right? So I danced to my own tune. Like I was, when I was in high school, I took work study. So I was out of school every day by 11. I had 2 jobs, you know, just really doing my own thing. I always ask for advice, but I always do what I want, you know? Yeah. And so I really just wanted my own space, my own place. I wanted to be able to come to school and be like, yep, I have my own place. And that's where I think things kind of started a little crazy, because without understanding, at 18 years old, you don't really understand credit, all that stuff. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Yeah. And that, you know, was something that carried into me being an adult. It took me a very long time to understand, okay, this is what credit does. This is how I save my money. And, you know, I went to college, and because I was already on my own, that, you know, kind of disrupted that. So now I have to work because I'm living on my own. So had I waited and either went to the military, did college at home, because I could live with my parents forever. Like I can go move in tomorrow. They would be okay. You know, I probably would have, you know, done things a little bit different in my 20s. Probably put myself in a better financial situation and been prepared for, you know, now having my own business, right? So just a little quick.
Yeah, you don't realize that though, because I think my first credit card was in the military, and I used that credit card and went and told the dang on what was it, the PX store, they sell Levi's and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I spent all $1,100 on some Levi's.
Your military star card? Oh.
That's a ooh.
Oh. My first credit card was Macy's, right? So I had a Macy's card, and I would just go to Macy's and I would spend that. I did know something about credit because I know I would go to Macy's.
I just knew not to get one.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's basically all we knew.
Yeah.
And so that makes you just want to get one more, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as you can get one, oh, I got a Macy's card. Oh, I got a Gap card.
Yeah.
You know, running around just wasting money and just building bad credit.
Yeah.
And I did that as a young person, and then I ended up, you know, when I was 20 years old, I had my first child. So like, boom, now you're skyrocketing into this like really being an adult.
Head first.
Yes, really being an adult.
So my story a little bit different when it comes to like figuring out how important credit was. I didn't realize it until I was already in the military. I was already married, and I already had a car, so I wasn't really worried about it because I got my husband to co-sign, of course. So it's like, you know, I won't think about credit until like I found out somebody had stole my identity and was like using my credit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they ended up spending or using like $30,000 like in fraudulent accounts.
How did you get out of that?
I had to do police reports. I ended up getting the girl prosecuted. She got sentenced to like 15 years.
What?
So yeah, girl, I wanted to be a homicide detective when I was growing up. Like,
wow.
I really wanted to solve crime. So I was like, okay, I get to use my skills. And yeah, I was able to track her down. They got her at the car dealership. They got her with my ID. And she was put in jail. I even talked to her sister.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow. So was the time that she did, is it just for the identity theft thing? Has she done it to several people, or?
It was, I think, a multitude of things like that she was doing. So apparently she's from Indianapolis. She traveled down to Atlanta, which is like the capital of fraud. I hated working at Nordstrom for that reason. And that's another story. But they ended up like breaking into our car. So I think it was like a series of things. And her sister was like, well, I don't understand how she even got to Atlanta. She doesn't have a car. She has 3 kids here, so like nobody really understood. It didn't really make sense.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That
but
is wild business.
and I didn't realize it because I'm like, you know, I wasn't thinking about credit until I got that alert, and it was like, oh, you have a new car, and I was like, no, I don't.
No, I think I would know.
I've been driving the same car, and it's sitting outside, and so she ended up buying like a Chevy HR or something, and I was like, I would never
buy that.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that car?
It's like a box
It's
car.
a little box.
Nothing
Yeah.
against people who drive them, but I wouldn't. That wouldn't have been my pick if I knew I can get approved for something.
Right. That's been that's wild. I've never experienced identity theft. Like I've never experienced that.
It seems like it's
before.
gonna be a nightmare, but it was easier just because of the internet.
Yeah.
So I used like Facebook groups to try to figure out like what I needed to do, and I was able to fix my credit in a year.
Wow.
And I thought that was going to take longer. And even after that, certain things popped up. But because I kept documents, like they were like just took it off.
That's a serious thing. So I think that when a part of me growing up, one of the things that I think affected me was the moving. So the moving from this place to this place to this place. I think that living in different places, it taught me to how to be able to strike up a conversation with someone and just kind of have friends of diverse backgrounds. So you can put me anywhere, okay?
Yeah.
And I can make it.
So that was an advantage.
Yeah, it was an advantage, but it also made me like, I realized like as I got older that I didn't value relationships as much. Like I would be friends with someone and they would like make me upset and I'd be like, oh, we're done. You know, like that, it would be that simple for me.
So how do you feel about that? Because that's something now these days that like people don't really value relationships. You see a lot of times people, they fall out with each other and it's like, I don't owe you a conversation. I don't owe you an explanation. I don't get to tell you why I'm mad at you, but I feel
like me.
But I feel like you're robbing the person of the ability to become a better person.
Yeah. So the way that I think about that, and it's not, you know, most people are probably not going to agree, but like if a person shows me a part of them and I don't like it and that's who they are, then I need to probably remove myself from that situation, only because I'm going to expect for you to be something different than what you are. And I feel like that's not fair. So do I think it's right to not give that person the opportunity to talk about it? I don't think that it's right, and I'm working on that. So that's something that I'm definitely working on. But I also, that doesn't mean that I'm going to salvage the relationship. That's just how I am. And that took some time to get to that point. Not saying that it's a good point to be in, but it just, I clearly see who a person is like early, right? And I'm able to determine, like, is this a person that I want to be a friend, an associate, or is this just, someone that, we bounce resources off of each other?
Right.
Right. I try to make that determination about someone early. I can't always do that, but that's one of the things that I think affected me as being a military brat, is being able to meet someone, like them, and walk away, right? So because that's what you did, you know. And I used to beg my parents every year, well, can I just stay at such and such house till the end of the school year? Blah blah blah. No, you're not staying at somebody's house, So so you just get comfortable with, hey, I'm not gonna see this person again, and that that's something that I'm working on as an adult, like valuing relationships more.
That's a lot.
The people that I do value, though, they around. They stick, they
I would say nowhere. For me, as really big, I wasn't around confrontation. So I never saw my parents argue. I had my own baby. I think I was like 20, might have been 21, 22 when I see my parents argue.
Really?
And so it takes a lot for me to be in confrontations or be in situations to where I feel like I have to like defend myself. But also I think one of the things that for business, when it comes down to trying to like not make a mistake, is controlling my emotions.
Yeah. I'm really good at controlling my emotions, right? Really good at that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to oh my God, you were just saying something. I was going to go back on it, and I totally forgot what it was, but we're going to get back to it.
Okay.
But parents arguing. The same with my parents. Like, my parents were a very good example. Like, I know they had arguments, but, like, I didn't know that we were, like, I never knew that we didn't have money.
Right.
I never knew that they were having an argument or a debate. Everything was just so...
like being kids, I really got to enjoy my childhood.
You got to be a kid, right?
Yeah.
You got to be a kid. And I appreciate that about my parents, because I look at, people around us all the time, and I'm like, these kids. Or people that grew up with me, and I see the way that they think, or the way that they mingle with their family. Like, I can be around my family every day.
Yeah.
Like, I love being around my mom, my dad. They're so cool. They're so just like... They're just cool to be around. And they were young. My parents got married when they were teenagers. So they did a really good job of just showing us, like, you shouldn't do this. And I remember someone told me, like, you never show your kids, like, when you're broke, because they get used to it, right? And I disagree with that. I felt like your kids should know, like, hey, we ain't got it. But now I see why. It makes them, to me, like, they don't get comfortable being in a situation that's not financially stable, that they press to be stable.
Yeah.
You're like, does that make sense?
I think, because too, like, just even having a conversation and having like daughters, is having that conversation is important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times women don't realize how important it is to be financially stable in any situation. And so it's just like having a daughter, it's like, girl, you better have your own money.
You have your own. You have to have your own. That's very important, like, because that's what the generation, all these songs are like, you do this for money, you get with this guy for money, or you be a sugar baby, or whatever they want to call it, right? And what happens when that person doesn't want to deal with you anymore? Now you don't have anything so you can't suffice. So it's important. Like, I teach my daughter is amazing, both of my daughters, but my little one, once she gets older, I feel like she's gonna be like, I got it. You don't have to worry. Like, not saying that I want my daughters to not be, susceptible to, going out there and meeting someone, but I do want them to go meet someone, have themselves together, and be able to take care of themselves if things don't work out. And even if they do work out, you still want to be a contributor, right?
Yeah, because I have a lot of clients who come to me, especially in the credit repair space, like they've been married for years and years and years. Husband deploys, like crazy things. He comes back and he doesn't want to be married anymore.
Yeah.
So
it happens.
Yeah, and so I always stress to women, especially if I'm doing business with them and they want better or they want more for themselves, like, here's how you get it. Like, this is what you can do. Make sure your credit is good. Don't wait until things are really bad and now you're like, okay, well, I can't get anywhere to stay for my kids. It's a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with equipping yourself, even if you are married or in a serious relationship. It's nothing wrong with equipping yourself to be prepared for the worst.
That just means you mean business.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, you heard that. So basically we're talking about our childhood and how that has affected us and how we've, grown into adults and all that. So now that we have learned those things, how do we take care of ourselves? What's the self-care that we administer to ourselves to keep growing?
I'm laughing because my self-care is going to Wendy's, getting me a number 6 spicy chicken sandwich with a Sprite, sitting in the parking lot eating it by myself.
Stop playing with me, because number 6 is my favorite. Spicy chicken, hold the tomato. I don't like the tomato on mine.
Yes.
But that's my favorite too. Wendy's is my, listen.
For real.
People tell me all the time, Chick-fil-A has the best.
Nah.
That's spicy.
And you get the spicy chicken and you dip it in your barbecue sauce. And then you get the Sprite to chase it down. You can't tell me. So that's my self-care.
I really think that, we have that in common. I really love that's number 6. Wow, I couldn't believe nobody. I thought I was the only one.
No.
Because everybody wants to get them Chick-fil-A sandwiches. No, I want the Wendy's. I want the Wendy's spicy chicken. So my self-care is sleep. I ain't going to stress it. I love to sleep. If you can, my kids say, hey, I'm going to my Nina's, which is their grandma. I'm going to my Nina's house. I'm like, yes, because you know what that means? I can just lay in my bed and sleep. I still got all this work to do. I'm freaking editing. I edit 90. I feel like I'm editing 90% of the time. But, sleeping and just maybe laying down and just hearing noise. I'm not a person that can actually sit and watch TV.
Yeah.
I can it's background noise for me, right? That's why I like to listen to podcasts. Shout out to Lovely T, because that's my favorite podcast. But I like listening to podcasts and sleep, relax. I do not, a lot of women say, oh, I like to get my nails done, my toes done. That is not self-care to me. That is maintenance.
Yes.
It is maintenance.
I'm I got to stop working to go get my toes done.
Yeah, it takes time.
Shout out to Temu for my press-ons. I ain't got none on today, but that's normally why I hit it up.
But get into this Temu glasses that she had, this whole box of glasses, 20 pairs. I'm like, bro, where did you get that from? That's
you got to keep the accessories on deck. You never know.
Yeah. I need a Temu because I don't like to shop.
Yeah.
So I'm a person that you send me to the mall, I'm in and out. You can give me 15 minutes, I'm going to find what I need, and I'm out of there. So, yeah, I don't like to shop.
The way Temu has gamified their shopping.
Not gamified.
They gamified it, and it's bad. It's bad. I feel like I'm in a casino in Las Vegas shopping.
They be like, today you won 100% off.
No, they got me the other day because they was like, basically, if I put this many things in the cart, I can get up to $500 in credit, right? So I put everything in the cart, I check out. Why they break the $500 down, saying, okay, now you got to spend $25 and we'll give you $30. I said, no, I wanted my whole $500.
That's a game. But they got you. They reel you right in.
Got me.
They definitely reel you right in.
Spent my $30 real fast.
Yeah. So self-care is definitely on something that we got to put on the top of our list as business owners. I think sometimes we neglect that. We're so busy doing things for other people, trying to meet deadlines, taking care of our kids, that we don't take the time to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And, it's very cliche, but if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. It's cliche, but it's very real. It's a very real thing. Another part of my self-care is volunteering. So volunteering at my church, and just being a part of an organization where I feel loved and cared for and all of that, that is another part of my self-care. So when I'm not sleeping, you can find me probably, helping with something at my church. And I love church. And so that's another one of my self-care things. On Sunday, I'm like, I can't miss it. So yeah, but that's so cool. That's so cool.
So self-care is like you said, it's one of those things where you don't really know how important it is until it's like you really need it. It's like you have that burnout. It's like, okay, no, I got to do something for me.
Yeah. I was thinking about going to get have you seen where people go to chiropractors and they get what's it called when they
it's sort of like an adjustment or whatever.
Yes, an adjustment.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe I should get an adjustment.
Let me tell you what I stumbled upon the other day. So, I'm an Army veteran. And so with being a veteran, there's certain like things that they'll pay and cover for. So I ended up making my first massage appointment. They're going to pay for 12 appointments.
Wow.
I said I would have never done that on my own.
These are the things that I'm missing out on because I didn't go.
Yes, girl, 12 appointments all paid for.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I have actually not had just a massage just for like, the last time I had a massage, here I am stumbling over my words. But the last time I had a massage, it was for like health reasons. Like, I've never had one just like, oh, I'm gonna go get me a massage or whatever. So
well, it's I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's like a deep tissue, but it is like a medical massage. But whatever they did, like knocked all the kinks out of my back. But now I have like 12 more appointments because I have really bad back pain. Like I can't even sweep or mop.
Really?
Yeah, my back is like toe up.
Yeah. See, I only start feeling like that when I gain weight. Like I gained weight over this past year, and now I feel like I can't walk up the steps, bro. So going into 2025, another part of my self-care is going to be me doing some type of workout. Something just to kind of get me going.
She didn't say go to the gym, y'all.
Nah, some type of workout. You heard that clearly. Gym didn't come out of my mouth.
You're going to be under people way anyway. That's why I said come January, I'll be under people way.
I want to do gym, right? I want to go to the gym because I've lost weight before. Like I just literally did the same routine every day.
Oh, Ozempic.
Oh yeah. See, I'm working on that. I'm working on that with my doctor.
It definitely helped me. I tried Ozempic. Yeah, I did Ozempic. Tried something. Yeah, I was about to say the wrong name. Trulicity. Okay. Yeah, and so I ended up losing weight. I took it for like 2 months. I only wanted to lose like 20 pounds.
Yeah. And I need to lose about 25.
I lost the weight like so fast.
Okay, so so that is my cue.
Yeah, you see Fat Joe talking about it?
Yeah, well,
Fat Joe lost a whole nother person.
Yeah. Well, does it hurt like when you do the injection?
It doesn't hurt when you do the injections, but it does take your body time to adjust. So like, let's say you eat something that you normally would eat, your body will tell you like, no, you're not supposed to eat that, because you'll burp, you'll taste eggs, and then you're like, oh my God. So that's almost your cue, like back up, don't do too much.
Training you.
Yes, and if you do too much, you will be sick and you will throw up and it will come out the other end. But after the first 2 weeks, you okay. Yeah.
Really? So it's something to think about.
Yeah.
It's something to think about because I want to go, like, there's things that I want to do next year, and I want to kind of be the size I want to be before I do those things. Do you have any plans for the holidays, or are you going anywhere? Or what does your family usually do for the holiday?
So typically for the holidays, especially Christmas, we stay at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So whether we live in Georgia or we live in North Carolina, like we always just make it a point to be at home so our kids can wake up to their gifts and run downstairs and play with their stuff and tear the house up.
What about New Year's?
I'm gonna be in the house. I haven't celebrated New Year's in like forever.
I'm gonna be outside. I'm gonna be outside.
I think I might try to go to church. That's what I think I might do. I think I might try to go to church for New Year's. I know one of the things that we were talking about is trying to do like a rock out party for kids for the end of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about that. We absolutely did. I don't know. I just want to be outside for New Year's. Like, I want to do something different. You know, like I have.
You gonna stay here? Stay in Fayetteville?
No, I don't want to stay here. I really would like to go to like the DMV.
Yeah. I
love the DMV.
Some people take day trips, like, catch a flight to Miami and come on back.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I definitely want to do something to bring in the new year. And just to like kind of like, I just have this whole idea that in 2025, like I'm going to sit down next week and come up with a list of things that I want to accomplish, what they look like based on what things are right now, how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to handle things, because I felt like this year was a little scattered for me. This was my second year in business, like in an actual brick and mortar. And it was a lot of survival, like we got to survive. We got to pay this rent.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's not. And so I feel like something wasn't done right. Right. And so going into 2025, I want to have a different perspective on life, and I don't want to work as hard as many people see me online. I am working. I work a lot. I have several clients that are dependent on me to get things done, and I can't let them down, right? And what we do is complex, video editing, photo editing, event planning. Those are complex things. So I need to learn how to take those things and delegate those to other people and figure out how financially I can make this work where I don't have to be that main person all the time. So going into 2025, that's going to change. That's going to change, right? But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the new year because I feel like this is a breakthrough year for me. There's a lot of things that are different that started closer to the end of the year, so I have a lot of things to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely the last quarter was one of those things where it's like, okay, if whatever I'm doing in 2025 is already showing up in this last quarter.
Right?
Yeah, so it's like now you just got to take what you have and run with it. And I'll tell you, I am leveraging AI like this nobody's business.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm using AI to come up with pretty much everything and just fine tune what I already have, and like having AI look at my services and say, okay, is there room for opportunity here? Should I increase my prices based on the current market research? So AI is helping a lot with putting those things into place for me.
Yeah, AI helps me a lot too because I have to send out a lot of communication. So, before it was like, okay, I got to write this letter. Now it's like, Chat GPT, can you please compose a letter to blah, blah, blah about such and such? And then you read over it and you're like, oh, this is on point. I ain't got to change nothing, right?
I'm all like, hey, Chat GPT, you are my social media manager. This is our audience. That are like giving it prompts like that. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
you got it.
You got to learn that. So that's something that I'm learning is that it really can do a lot more than what I'm using it for. I think one time we went into ChatGPT and was like, give us the top 20 companies within the area that need to increase their marketing. And here it goes. And give us the manager's name. And give us the phone number. You got an email too, right? And it's like spitting all this information
Put the links to the websites and everything.
And it'll put it together for you. You can even ask it to put it in like a table format. And it'll do stuff like that. So, 2025 is I see a lot happening. And I definitely will be leveraging AI.
Yes.
And AI, like, it affects different businesses for different things. So when it comes to my business, I think I don't want to speak too soon, but I know that the pictures, people thinking that they can use the, AI to make their headshots look better and stuff like that. We know that they're AI still. So
it's like, how do you compete against that though?
Yeah. So that's something that we are competing against. But AI is also helping me. I say AI because I'm just turning into one word AI. But AI is also helping me with, my editing. So I'm able to say, hey, like, put this person standing on snow or something, or add a light pole in the back, right? So that's the awesome part about it.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
Yeah, so that's a lot of people are afraid of it, but you have to learn how to leverage it. Like, use it as a tool to make what you do better.
Right.
And not so much. I've seen a whole strategic plan done on a website for a government agency using ChatGPT.
Wow.
Do you know they probably paid somebody like $50,000 to just do this? I said, okay.
Yeah. So use it.
Yeah.
Use it to your benefit. Like, understand what AI is. That's a part of technology that is not going to scale back. It's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And going into 2025, look at your business and evaluate it and find out, how can I incorporate AI that'll make my business better? Yeah. Right. So, because I'm definitely using it. Definitely.
But you can only really do that, I believe, honestly, if you have been tracking data. Because I think if you're jumping into AI right now and you're trying to get it to run your business or tell you some ideas, it doesn't have enough information.
Right.
So it's like one of those things where you have to have the slightest clue of where you want to go with your business, but before you jump into it and just leave it up to ChatGPT to build it out for you, because it's going to take a lot longer. Because you're going to have to hit your head a couple times like, okay, well, I guess the ChatGPT was wrong. So just making sure you have like some kind of form of data, an idea of what you want for yourself before you jump into it, I would say is
definitely true. Definitely true. That could be, a mistake that you can make in your business, like we had spoke of before. It's just like thinking that you can totally rely on it. So just make sure that you're using it for the right things and that you're actually evaluating, what it's giving you. Because just because it's giving you some information doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% true.
Yeah, there was this lawyer in New York who used ChatGPT to do like a court case. Oh, no. And the court case never existed. Like the case he cited in his little whatever he got to do. Girl, he lost his license. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So next we're going to jump into the trending topic. Jay looking like what? So the trending topic here is code switching.
Oh, code switching.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I wanted to talk about code switching because it wasn't something that I even knew existed, didn't know what it was until I saw it on somebody's business card. And I'm like, what is code switching?
It was on a business card?
He had it on his business card that he was like a professional code switcher.
Wow.
So those of you who are watching who don't know what code switching is, it's normally when you have to change up how you talk and how you behave when you're around a certain person or around like in a certain environment.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about that because me, the little ghetto girl from Fayetteville, went into Comcast, which is a company I used to work for, but in Atlanta, yeah. So I work for them.
Cable company.
I'm a walk around the C-suite. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Like, don't even. I know everybody's name. So to me, I use that as an advantage that I was approachable and that I was talking to people, but I didn't realize. Yeah, I didn't realize how that can come off as abrasive.
Yeah. So with code switching, it's almost like you are like providing comfort to the dominant culture, right?
When you switch to that particular code, wherever you okay.
Yep. So that's like me. When it comes to my voice, a lot of times because I'm African American, Black woman, the way that I talk. You can't tell what I am when you're talking to me on the phone. Now, get me in a business office, you really can't tell. Okay? Hi, this is Jay. How can I assist you?
My family, right? they're like, where did you learn how to talk like that? Like, how you switch your voice up like that?
That's what we got to do. That is a part of our culture is code switching.
But we didn't realize we were doing it though.
Yeah, you don't realize, especially like I'm gonna say it this way: when you're the only pepper in the salt, you feel like you gotta, act a little bit different. Like it's not, like the way that you act is not totally acceptable, which kind of is what puts me on the fence about code switching. Yeah. Right? It kind of puts me on the fence. A reason why I wanted to have my own business, because I felt like, I don't have to code switch. But that's still not true. Because when you go out to these networking events and all of that, you can be in the worst mood possible. But as soon as you walk through that door, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Looking great. I like your outfit. That looks amazing. Okay, girl, so you got a new hairstyle.
It's like one of those scenarios when you in the club in the bathroom and you're like intoxicated and drunk and you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. But you really don't even like it.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Code switching is really a thing, guys. And you really, it's not something that you can get away from. If you have your own business, if you work in an office, whatever, you still have to maintain that.
I think it translates to having a level of professionalism. So it's not me saying that you have to be someone else or you have to try to pretend to be someone else. It's like, okay, how do you want to represent yourself?
Yeah, there's a time and a place, right?
And I didn't understand that 12 years ago when my mother-in-law told me that. I'm like, girl, bye.
I've been code switching, baby. I've been code switching. You heard? I have been
She
code
literally
switching.
told me, like, there's a time and a place for everything. And I was like...
See, I had that. I kind of had that attitude, just like going into bit. Like I was tired of code switching, right? So I'm tired of having to speak this way or talk this way or whatever. But when I got into business, now the way that I talk, it's kind of natural for me to talk this way because I am a representation of my business all the time. So all the time I got to be, like ready, just like you, like last episode you said when you saw me, you're like, oh, I don't think she likes me. So those are that's a prime example of how I was like, I'm here, so I'm not.
She really looked me up and down and was like, why are you even here?
I believe
why
that.
are you standing in front of me? I'm talking to Chris.
When was that? what was going on? You know what? Sometimes it'd be me. People don't know I'd be late or something. I'd be embarrassed, right? And so my face will be like, oh, I hope everybody.
I hope they don't know. And people don't even really be thinking about you. I think that's one of the things too.
Isn't that the worst thing when you pull up somewhere? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so late. I shouldn't even go in. And then you get in there. They wouldn't even worry about you. Yeah. Hey, girl, the plate's over there.
I read that online that like 99% of your thoughts in your head are just you. Like nobody else knows what you're thinking unless you bring those thoughts out. So even when like something is bothering me, because I have really bad anxiety, like that's also like one of my disabilities with the VA, whatever, like, and people don't realize it. I sweat so bad when I'm talking in front of people. If I have to do speaking engagements, like
really?
Girl, last time I did one, my friend had to have a fan for me, like when I finished, and I was like so over it. But the anxiety is like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I have really high anxiety too. So I think some of the things that really bring that out is when I'm having a confrontation or something's not working well with a customer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Because you feel like you want to fix it before it goes too bad, and
Yes.
it's just like, nah.
I'm not, it's so hard for me to deal with that when if I upset one of my customers or if I don't meet their expectation, like they'll probably be like, oh, she just doesn't want to talk to me. No, it's not that. My anxiety is so high and so heavy that I don't know how to approach it. Like, what's the way I should do it? Like, I'm literally practicing. Okay, when I call her, I'm going to say, all right. When I
And
call
that's
her, I'm gonna
anxiety
say.
on 10. And it's
Yeah.
just like, And so what I did in my business to try to combat like that level of anxiety that way is I started documenting everything. So all of our Zoom calls are recorded, they're transcribed, all of our contracts are laid out. And it's just like, so if anybody ever tries to say like, oh, well, you didn't do what you said you was going to do. It's like, no, let me send you over the proof. And when they get that email, they be like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
That's like, because I will sometimes like be having a text conversation with someone and then I put my foot down in that conversation and then I just put the phone away and like, I don't want to see what they said back. Somebody else read this for me. Is it bad? Is it bad?
Yeah.
What they say? Is it bad? Like,
I
I
ain't gonna
really
hold you.
have that.
I don't have those problems because nobody has my personal number.
Well, see, my God, so the way that I have things linked up on my phone, I have a personal line, but I have like an app on my phone that is my business line, but that app also rings to several other people.
No, that's
so
cool.
sometimes I'm like, I'm just gonna let somebody else handle it.
Is that through Ring Central?
It's One Talk through
Oh,
Verizon.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
And yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Verizon has a business kind of line where you can. What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so like you can put the app on several different phones. Like put it on my phone. I'll put it on my partner Joe's phone, and it'll be and whenever it rings to everybody. And so if they pick up, I can barge the call and hear the conversation and be like, okay, just tell them I'm here and I'll conference me over, transfer it over, and I'll just take over the call.
Oh, okay.
And we can all see the text messages, so it makes things easier. You don't feel like all the responsibility is on you.
Yeah.
So I love that. But yeah, because I do have anxiety, so I needed that because all the phone calls were coming to me and it was good when it was like, okay, just a small group of people, but now it's a very large group of people who are calling me every day. I get a lot of phone calls every day, so I had to learn how to manage that big time.
And
And
your traffic primarily comes from Google.
yes, so I get a lot of people calling me and they say, I found you from Google, or I do get a lot from Instagram as well. Like, I've been following you on Instagram and I saw that you can do this. That's why it's very important to like keep your audience aware
show
of
up.
what you're doing. Show what you're doing. Show your work. Even if I have a client and like I take their pictures and they're like, you can't show any of the pictures, that makes me upset. That's a part of my art. So the camera is one thing, but the going in, taking the pictures and editing the pictures and making them look a certain way, that's art to me. So I want to be able to share my art. So everyone that comes in the studio, I let them know. You may see yourself online.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's how I run my business. Yep. So
Yeah, that's where a struggle for us came in with social media. I feel like, people are always like, yeah, Sylvia, we see you all the time. Like before I go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning. Yeah, but my thing was with social media, I really want to be intentional. And that intentional phase came from like just posting every day and not really seeing traction. So, like you'll come up with a social media schedule and that social media schedule might be for like 3 months. So you're just routinely going in and just building out the graphics and then you're posting, but there's no point in time where you're looking at to see like who's reacting or should I do something different. And so for us, we started focusing on the things that we knew people would react to. So like the events that we host, when we post pictures of the events that we host. So those are the kind of things that we try to show on social media because it just helps us keep like stay relevant, but the posting every day, it just didn't do any justice for us.
If you're gonna post every day, it needs to have some type of meaning. It does have to have something, and I do that too. I kind of watch, what do people like to see me do? What do people what gets people's attention the most? And I figured that out. So I'm constantly feeding that, and it's constantly, helping our social media grow. So we are gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up. This is episode 2, and there's more to come. Like we said, there'll be more every single week. This is the She Means Business podcast with your hosts, Jay Renee and Sylvia. We are moms, entrepreneurs, good human beings, and we're coming to you live every single week to talk to you about all of those things that, I don't know, all of those things.
Whatever we feeling like talking about,
whatever
we're going to talk to you
about. Letting you know that we're real people, and helping you balance life as a mom, as an entrepreneur. Even if you're not a mom, still, tune in, and you can learn some valuable information from us who've been in business for a long time. Sylvia's been married 12 years. Woo. We have a lot to tell you about. Okay. Shout out to marriage. Yes. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at shemeansbusiness.pod. Find us on Facebook, She Means Business Podcast, and go ahead and subscribe to us right now on YouTube and share us with your family, with your friends, whoever. We appreciate all the love and support, and we will see you again soon for episode 3 of She Means Business Podcast.